She called 911 after hearing her daughter scream upstairs, but her daughter wasn't home. What happened next will shock you. The house was silent, wrapped in the usual calm of the late evening. The mother, Sarah, stood in the kitchen, sipping her tea when a piercing scream shattered the stillness.
Mom, help me!
Sarah's blood ran cold. The voice, her daughter's voice, came from upstairs. But that was impossible. Her daughter, Lily, was staying at a friend's house tonight. Her hands trembled as she set the cup down, her breath quickening. "Lily," she called hesitantly, her voice barely above a whisper. No response. Just an eerie silence. She grabbed her phone, her fingers fumbling over the screen as she dialed 911. "My daughter. I just heard her scream upstairs. She's in danger," she stammered. "Stay on the line, ma'am. Officers are on their way." Heart pounding, she took a hesitant step toward the staircase. But deep inside, she knew something wasn't right. Minutes later, red and blue lights flashed outside as two officers arrived at the house. Sarah stood at the door, her face pale, hands shaking. She screamed. "I heard her upstairs," she whispered. The officers exchanged wary glances but nodded, guns drawn, flashlights beaming. They entered the house. Sarah watched as they swept the living room, the hallway, and then the staircase. Step by step, they climbed upstairs. The doors creaked open, Lily's bedroom, the bathroom, the guest room. Nothing. One officer turned back. "Ma'am, are you sure you heard her?" Sarah swallowed hard. Yes, I'm sure." The second officer spoke into his radio, confirming the house was clear. Then he pulled out his phone. "She's at her friend's house, safe and sound," he confirmed after calling the friend's mother. Sarah blinked in confusion. "But I heard her." "I swear I did." The officers exchanged looks. One sighed. "Sometimes stress plays tricks on the mind, ma'am. Call us if anything else happens." As they left, Sarah stood in the doorway, staring up at the dark staircase. Something inside her whispered. They shouldn't have left. Hours passed, but Sarah couldn't shake the unease twisting in her stomach. She tried to rationalize it. Maybe she was just exhausted. Maybe the officers were right. Then, at 11:47 p.m., the front door creaked open. Sarah's heart stopped. She turned toward the entrance and saw Lily standing there, smiling up at her. "Mom, Mrs. Carter dropped me home. I missed you. Can you bake brownies for me?" For a moment, Sarah was frozen. How did you get here?" Lily tilted her head, confused. "I told you. Mrs. Carter brought me. I just wanted to come home." Sarah exhaled, relief washing over her. Maybe the night had just gotten to her. Maybe this was just normal. Forcing a smile, she ruffled Lily's hair. "Of course, sweetie, I'll bake your favorite." Lily beamed and skipped into the living room, settling onto the couch in front of the TV. As the oven hummed to life, Sarah let herself relax. Maybe she had just imagined everything earlier. She didn't even notice how unusually still Lily was sitting on the couch, her eyes barely blinking as the TV flickered in the dark. The sweet scent of baking brownies filled the air. Sarah hummed softly, pouring a glass of milk. In the living room, Lily sat motionless, eyes fixed on the flickering TV screen. Then, her phone rang. Sarah wiped her hands and glanced at the screen. Mrs. Carter's number. Frowning, she answered. "Hello?" "Hi, Sarah," came Mrs. Carter's warm voice. "Lily wants to stay the night. Is that okay with you?" Sarah's entire body went cold. Her grip on the phone tightened. Her breath hitched. I'm sorry." Her voice trembled. "Lily is already home." A pause. Then, laughter. "Sarah, what are you talking about? Lily's right here with me. She's in her pajamas, about to sleep." Sarah's knees buckled. The room spun. Her eyes darted to the living room. Lily was still there, sitting, watching TV, unmoving. Her voice cracked. "No, she's here. She's right in front of me." Silence on the other end. Then, Mrs. Carter's voice dropped to a whisper. "Sarah, if Lily is with you, then who is with me?" Sarah's hand trembled, her eyes slowly moving to the wall mirror, and that's when she saw it. Sarah's breath caught in her throat as she turned toward the wall mirror. The reflection of the living room was clear, too clear. The TV flickered, the couch sat in its usual place, and Lily was there. But something was wrong. In the reflection, Lily was smiling. A slow, wide, unnatural grin stretched across her face. Her lips curled too far, her teeth too perfect. But the real Lily, the one on the couch, wasn't smiling at all. Sarah's pulse pounded in her ears. Her knees felt weak. This isn't real. This isn't real. Then, the Lily in the mirror turned its head. But the Lily on the couch did not. Sarah screamed. The thing in the mirror stood up, slowly, jerkily. Its limbs moved in a way no human body should. And yet, on the couch, Lily remained completely still. Sarah's feet refused to move. Her phone slipped from her fingers, clattering to the floor. The mirror, Lily tilted its head unnaturally and whispered in a voice that wasn't quite Lily's. "You shouldn't have called a 911, Mommy." The lights flickered violently. The TV buzzed into static. Sarah turned back toward the couch, but it was empty. A soft giggle came from behind her, and then a cold breath brushed against her neck. Sarah spun around, but nothing was there. Her chest rose and fell in sharp, ragged breaths. The house was dead silent. The only sound was the TV, now flickering with static. Then, from the dark hallway, a whisper.
Mommy, I'm still hungry.
Sarah's stomach twisted. Her hands shook violently as she grabbed the nearest kitchen knife. This wasn't Lily. This wasn't real. She forced herself to move, slowly stepping toward the hallway. Her heart slammed against her ribs. Then the lights cut out. Total darkness. Sarah gasped, backing up until she hit the counter. Her fingers fumbled for her phone, but it was gone. Then, soft, bare feet patted against the floor. Getting closer, a low giggle from just inches away, then a whisper right at her ear. "You let them in, Mommy." Sarah screamed as ice-cold hands grabbed her wrist. The light snapped back on. The house was empty. The front door stood wide open, cold air creeping inside. And in the mirror, Lily stood there grinning. But this time, she had no reflection.